good. You found me on the dial. Are you ready to enter the mysterious and sometimes lonesome world of late-night radio broadcasting? Eager to tap into the transmissions from an obscure little radio station? Good. Then let's tune in together, shall we? An Entrée to Murder is the second part of our live show, All Night Radio. It was taped live in New York City on March 31st, 2019. The tiny radio station that houses the studio of WXRQ is an amplitude-modulated, or AM, radio station carrier whose frequencies are roughly in the range of 535 to 1605 kilohertz. It's one of hundreds of little stations sprinkled around the country that broadcasts late into the evening hours, sharing the remnants of a time that is gradually fading from memory, where lonely people transmit their lonesome signals to other lonely people. A nation singularly united by aloneness. Inside the radio station of WXRQ, it's just the beginning of yet another endless shift.
What a bust that turned out to be.
Who cares? We got our kicks plenty.
Kicks?
Light me up like a good dope, won't you, baby?
Sure. I took Georgette to the fights before coming to the station tonight.
The fights?
Yeah, the fights.
I lost a bundle on Kid Flipper.
Kid Flipper? You mean Kid Flapper?
Oh, boy. Woo.
Why would you ever put money on such a beanbag?
How was I supposed to know he had an Achilles face?
That was your money, kid. Like I said, we got our kicks. Speaking of, where is that bottle at? I may not be punch drunk, but I'd sure as hell like to be drunk on the punch, you get what I mean?
Give me a second, I'll get it.
Still the same, Georgette. Still enjoying those dual lives of yours?
Well, you can't be that numb, Rex. A cat like me has a lot more than 2 lives.
Still married?
What do you think?
That never got in the way of you having a good time.
Very astute, Rexy, old man. Yeah, I'm still hitched to that old bag of golf clubs. He plays his games and he lets me play mine. Same club, different courses. You get what I mean?
And in what sand trap did you find the latest sap?
I'm sorry, which sap are you referring to? There are so many.
I'm back, and looky here. Voila! The good stuff.
Oh, isn't he the cutest? He thinks this is the good stuff. How adorable.
Nuts to you. More from me, then.
Frank, you realize I'm back on the air in 3 minutes.
Rex, my internal clock never fails me. Or you. Remember that.
Just pointing it out.
I'm a professional, all right?
Professional what?
Don't mind him, Frank. Rexy here has had a long career in broadcasting.
Is that right?
He was one of the busiest character actors on the radio. But that was a long time ago, wasn't it, Rexy?
So it was.
Everybody wanted to hire Rex Arnold, the man with the golden voice. A great voice, for sure, but too average-looking to be in the pictures. You see, the camera loves some more than it loves others, and in Rex's case, the lens only made him appear smaller. And that simply won't do in Hollywood. Well, television is the thing nowadays, and people don't listen to the radio to hear what the shadow knows or any of that stuff anymore. Those days are gone. But that golden voice still needs somewhere to go. Some lonely audience to talk to, doesn't it? Hopefully that audience won't die off before you do.
2 minutes to airtime, Frank.
Oh, don't take it so personal, honey. You see, Rex is an old colleague of mine. He and I come from the same world. Hey, do you think I'm thrilled to be slapping on a happy face over my scowl at 7 a.m. for a bunch of flat-headed yokels? I used to be coast to coast, baby. Now I'm just coasting.
I'm going to the booth. You gonna join me or what, Georgette?
In my own good time. Maybe I'd like to watch an old master at work for a moment. It's not often you get to see the great Rex Arnold of radio introduce a repeat of a low-budget horror show.
Why don't you just leave me alone?
You know, When we were at the fights tonight, Frank and I were sitting ringside, close enough so that when Kid Flipper ate a right cross, the blood sprayed all over us. A little bit got in my mouth. I didn't mind it at all.
And we're live.
Good evening, Rex Arnold speaking. Yes, folks, it's now that hour of the night where there is no sense of time, which means anything can happen. Hopefully you're listening from somewhere comfortable. If you are, turn the lights down low, for we are about to enter the Cavern of the Three Crones, a delightfully chilling romp from the golden age of radio broadcasting. It's hard to believe, but this episode originally aired 20 years ago on March 15th, 1939.
We take the trouble. Chichoil and bubble. We can feel you quiver in your bones. Down here in the Cavern of the Three Crones.
Yes, friends, it's time once again to enter the bizarre world of the Cavern of the Three Crones. Three satanic storytelling sisters, along with their feline minion Obsidian, invite you into a realm of mystery, murder, and the supernatural.
Oh, what's that, Obsidian? What story shall we tell? It appears before us now in the poisoned broth of the cauldron. Stir it well. It emerges now. Can you make out the title, my sisters? Mine eyes are not as sharp as yours. Ah, yes. An entree to murder. But wait! Do you think this one might be too horrible to tell? If ye be weak of heart, turn away, no! Turn away! They still be here, eh? Well, we warned ye.
May I have this dance?
And who are you?
My name is Michael Jones.
Mr. Jones.
Won't you have this dance with me?
I don't think you're a member of this club. I certainly don't recall any Michael Jones on the roster.
Well, I'm not, but I hope to be someday.
How did you find your way in here, then?
Let's just say I'm an ambitious sort of fellow. I kind of talked my way in here, if you get my meaning.
Well, I appreciate your honesty, Mr. Jones, but the chances of us interacting beyond this point are not.
I know they're not. I know. But I am a very driven man. I've come a long way. I started life with nothing, and little by little I'm making a name for myself. I'll do anything to get what I want.
And what is it you want?
This next dance, of course.
People will talk.
Let them.
I can't chance that. I'm sorry.
You are the most beautiful woman I have ever seen and will ever see. Come with me. If you don't take this chance now, we may never...
You are charming, Mr. Jones. I like your fire, your spirit, your intense black eyes.
What must I do? I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Catherine Beaumont.
Catherine. Just one dance, please.
Perhaps in another time, in another place.
There is no other time. There is no other place.
Restraint, Mr. Jones, is the mark of good breeding. Please, I'm afraid that I am unable to satisfy your request. Good evening.
Very well.
Well, you stepped up to the plate and gave it your best swing, eh? No one can fault you for trying, my boy.
Who are you?
Me? Oh, I'm Harrison J. Blair. You know, of the Foxton Blairs.
I'm Michael Jones of the Lower East Side Palookaville Joneses. Maybe you've heard of us.
Oh, you are quite the wit. And you are a very good-looking fellow. But as you just learned now, there are certain barriers determined by class, prestige, birthright, and most important of all, ambition.
Well, out of all of those, I do have ambition. You know, Mr. Blair, I started my own label-making business with a $50 loan from the bank 4 years ago, and I've done pretty well for myself. But not well enough, I see.
Ah, yes, indeed. Money is not enough. You need to enter society.
If I was in society, I'd be able to dance with Catherine Beaumont.
Oh, yes, you would, many times over.
Tell me the truth, Mr. Blair. That'll never happen to me.
Well, I wouldn't say that's necessarily so.
What do you mean?
Look, there are some men here, men you can see waltzing around with their pretty partners that were able to enter society, but not in the traditional way.
Tell me, how?
They were willing to do whatever it took to succeed.
That's me too. I'm willing to do whatever it takes.
Are you?
Yes. What do these men have that I don't?
Who says that you don't? Well, I didn't.
Then how can I enter into society like them?
Did you know, Mr. Jones, of all the men of power and prestige that walk among us in this room, very few got where they are today without committing some sort of unforgivable sin.
Can that really be so?
Oh, it is. Let that sink in for a moment. Some of them were men just like you, men who came from penniless families with scant education, but they found their way into society.
How?
They were willing to do whatever it takes. Pay any price.
I already told you, I'm willing to do whatever it takes.
Oh, that's just hyperbole, my boy. It's easy to say such a thing. It's another thing to really mean it.
I'm deadly serious.
Deadly? Serious? Oh, my.
I swear to you, I will do whatever it takes to be top dog.
You mean what you say, then?
I do.
Oh, it's quite easy to bypass all the rigmarole needed to enter society in the traditional way if you have the courage, the absolute guts.
I fear nothing. I'll take any chance.
Oh, my boy, my boy. I believe you. There is a way for you to enter society, a way to skip the line, if you will. As anyone who has made anything of themselves knows, our world is a system of reciprocal behavior.
Favors?
Yes, you are sharp, my lad. I like you. I like you very much. Tell you what, I'm going to share something with you, but only if you truly are deadly serious.
I am.
Good. Here, take this note. I want you to submit a formal request to a Mr. Good, the founder and chair of the Palomar Club. He can help you manage everything required to enable you to enter society.
That's it? Just write him a letter?
No, that's it. Drop him a line and ask him if there's anything you can do for him. He will reply to you with a request. Fulfill his request, and he will perform a favor for you in return, if you get my meaning.
You're not serious.
Prepare yourself. Mr. Good's order will be a tall one, a very tall order indeed. But if you are serious and man enough to seize the bounty...
I am man enough.
Drop Mr. Good a note then. Oh, and one other thing.
Yes?
Read the information in his reply as soon as possible. You see, the ink will soon disappear from the page the moment you open the envelope. I hope you took careful note of everything I just said, as I will not repeat it again. Good day, Mr. Jones. Good luck.
Ah, now, the brash, ambitious, and headstrong Mr. Jones didn't waste any time at all to write that little note to Mr. Good of the Palomar Club. And it was on the very next day he received his reply.
Well, that was fast. What does it say here? Oh, my. Oh, my. This can't be. This has to be a joke. Mr. Good would like me to what? Let me read this again. I can't believe what my eyes are seeing. Oh, my. Holy, the ink, it's fading. Can it be? No, I can't believe it. Mr. Good wants me to commit a murder.
Yes! Murder! Mr. Jones is strong-willed, but also weak in his thirst for power. But he wouldn't act on this impulse, would he? Oh, no, not our Mr. Joe. Would he? Could he?
Oh my. Do you feel as if we're perched on the precipice of something quite sinister? I do too. But don't you move a muscle. I've got a few quick words to share with you about our sponsor for this episode, Skylight Frame. Mother's Day is just around the corner, and heck, so is Father's Day for that matter. You don't have to go crazy trying to find the perfect gift that says, I'm thoughtful, and of course I'm your favorite kid. Because I'm going to tell you about one gift that thousands of moms have been calling the best gift ever. It's this amazing thing called Skylight, a touchscreen photo frame that you can email photos to at any time and from anywhere. Sounds genius, right? Skylight sets up effortlessly in under 60 seconds. You just plug it in and use the touchscreen to connect to your wireless network. And that's not all that's easy. Sending photos to Skylight is a breeze. The whole family can send photos to your Skylight's unique email from phone or computer, and you can see them in seconds. It's got a sleek black frame that looks like a real photo frame and goes with any decor. But what makes it really special is its gorgeous 10-inch touchscreen. Swipe through photos, browse the gallery, delete photos, pause the slideshow, even thank the darling person who sent you a photo, all with just a tap of the finger. You can preload the Skylight with all of your favorite photos as a delightful gift for Ma, Grandma, Dad, anyone. But hey, if for any reason you don't absolutely love your Skylight, you can get a full refund, 100% satisfaction guaranteed. I love this idea for my parents. As long as they don't happen to hear this, the gift of a Skylight frame will be the most delightful surprise. And what a lovely way to stay connected, even when we're miles apart. Now, as a special Mother's Day offer, you can get $10 off your purchase of a Skylight frame when you text Fireside to 484848. That's right. To get $10 off your purchase of a Skylight frame, just text Fireside to 484848. That's FIRESIDE to 484848. I'd say that would make a happy Mother's Day indeed. Now, back to an entree to murder.
Oh, look here, you almost knocked me over.
I'm sorry. Hey, Catherine.
Mr. Jones, is it? You ought to be more careful. I nearly fell out into the street just now. I could have been run over.
You remembered. You remembered my name.
I suppose you are a memorable type of person. Your handsome looks don't fail you, I will say that much.
Catherine Beaumont.
Yes. What is it, Mr. Jones?
I'm so glad I happened to run into you. It must be a sign.
A sign? A sign of what?
Miss Beaumont, what if I told you I was going to enter society? I mean really enter society. Appear in the book of Who's Who.
I'd say that would be quite an accomplishment, but nothing short of a miracle, I'm afraid.
Well, you just wait and see. Yes, yes.
Just what are you up to, Mr. Jones?
Mark my words, Miss Beaumont. A week from now, you will not feel the slightest hesitation taking my arm at the next dance.
If you say so, Mr. Jones.
Wear your prettiest gown, Miss Beaumont. I'll be there as a new man.
That's all it took. One look into the doe eyes of that beautiful socialite.
Funny how love makes a fella do things.
It gave Mr. Jones all the confidence he needed to make his final decision. Now, all there was left to do was the deed itself.
The final act.
The price of entry, which was murder! And the victim,
Thank you, Clyde. You can just leave me here. I know it's dark, but I'd like to stay here on the veranda and look at the stars for a while longer. Go on. Take the rest of the evening off. You deserve it. Go on. Thank you, Clyde. What a beautiful night. I can't take nights like these for granted anymore. No, sir. I can see every star in the sky. There's Polaris. That's easy to spot. But there's Regal. Over there I see Canopus and Sirius and... Hey? What was that? Who's there? Is that you, Clyde? 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 Please tell me that's you, Clyde. Please. Who are you? What do you want? How did you get in here? How did you...
You guessed it. That Mr. Jones made his play. His assigned victim?
A wealthy widow, Mrs. Victoria Peat.
A nearly perfect crime. Executed with nothing more than a pair of gloves.
A piece of piano wire.
And the will, the desire, the lust to commit murder. Oh, but if only it was that simple.
There was a witness.
Clyde, the butler. He saw a man skulking from the house, and the description matched. So, Mr. Jones was apprehended.
Was tried.
And convicted of murder. The trial was swift.
As was the sentencing.
And our poor Mr. Jones swung from the gallows not 2 days after Christmas that year. But the story doesn't end there, my pets.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, good news, Catherine.
What's that, Uncle Harrison?
I just spoke with the attorney.
The probate attorney?
Yes, Mr. Sachs, our probate attorney.
And what did he say?
We're in the money. We're in the money.
I still can't believe you got away with it.
Can't believe I got away with it? You mean we?
You had that pathetic rube of a man, Mr. Jones, do away with poor Aunt Victoria.
I can see that it weighs heavily on your conscience, my dear niece, but the way I see it, we did nothing wrong. There's no dirt on our hands, you see. People like us don't do such things.
Oh, he didn't appear to be so foolish, that Mr. Jones. He really believed that by writing a letter to a stranger, that he could enter society?
The man was not what I would call stupid, just desperate. Sometimes even the most intelligent of people will forget their best senses in the name of desire and narcissism, which is why he was a godsend. Fate placed him squarely in our laps.
It still doesn't sit well with me, Uncle Harrison.
Oh, what doesn't sit well with you? Oh, no longer having to pretend that you're not as rich as you'd have others believe? Or that our formerly depleted coffers have been gloriously refilled thanks to my sister Victoria's passing? Oh, I do say, my dear, you are quite impossible to please.
I don't know. I feel...
Catherine, you mustn't make me worry about you. Only you and I know. Let's keep it that way. Are you expecting anyone?
No.
You said that we'd be alone.
I said I'm not expecting anyone.
Shall I answer it?
Go on.
Yes? How can I help you?
Good evening. May I come in?
I'm sorry. Who are you?
My name is Good.
What's that?
I'm Mr. Good, the founder and chair of the Palomere Club.
That can't be.
I'll just see myself in, if you don't mind. Thank you.
What is all this? Who are you, really, and what are you getting at?
I believe I already told you. You know very well who I am, old sport. Let's not play these games, shall we?
Mr. Good? Of the Palomar Club? But that can't be.
Who is this man?
Miss Catherine Beaumont, I presume. Just my good fortune to meet both you and Mr. Harrison Blair here at the same time. It will save me a trip.
Who are you? Who sent you?
I don't understand what's going on.
When a person, any person, contacts me, I reply with a request. If that request is fulfilled, I return the favor to the very best of my ability. No questions asked. One Mr. Michael Jones sent me a note. He gave your name as a reference, Mr. Blair.
Now, this is insane.
Now I'm here to fulfill Mr. Jones's request.
That's impossible.
And why is that?
Because you're my invention. That note Jones sent went to my private post box. I wrote that reply with disappearing ink. You're a work of fiction. I made you up.
Made me up? Oh, dear. I really don't see how that could be, Mr. Blair. So, to my order of business. Just before he went to the gallows, since he had done what I asked of him to do, to take the life of Mrs. Victoria Peat, I asked him what I could possibly do in return. Naturally, he asked if I could somehow secure his release from prison and have him exonerated. That, unfortunately, I was unable to do. But I was able to make him a conciliatory offer.
A conciliatory offer?
Yes, to mete out justice. As slowly and as painfully as possible. Where the two of you are concerned, of course.
Oh, wait.
Justice? What is going on?
Well, I simply revealed to Mr. Jones that Mr. Harrison Blair happens to be your uncle, and that Mrs. Victoria Peat is your wealthy relative, and he was able to piece together the rest without much assistance from me. So, Mr. Jones asked me to perform a favor in return, one that I could easily and happily fulfill.
What? Wait!
Please don't!
Wait! What?
Very well, then. Now that we won't be disturbed, shall we begin?
Oh, for such a tidy-looking man, he leaves quite a mess, doesn't he?
They don't call him Mr. Good for nothing.
Good for nothing. Get it? Oh, what's that, Obsidian, my furry fiend? There's no more sand in the hourglass. Time for us to go, eh?
But before we leave, what tale shall we reveal to our listeners next week, my sinister sister?
Find out what happens when magic turns tragic in our next yelping yarn. Now you see her, now you don't. Join me and my sisters next time as we take the trouble to bubble up the cauldron with another tale to chill your bones here at the Cavern of the Three Crones.
The Cavern of the Three Crones is written and produced by Lawrence P. Woodsburg. In tonight's cast, you heard Kitty Culpine, Arthur Raymond, Buddy Diller, Phyllis Larson, Dolores Clay, and Paul Diamond. This is Ted Fortescue speaking.
Now, how about that, kids? Tune in tomorrow night for another spine-tingling repeat episode of The Cavern of the Three Crones. You can only hear it here from WXRQ 823 on your radio dial. Now, how about this nice piece of soothing music?
Midnight, I've spent another lonely day thinking of you. Midnight, oh what a lonely time to weep. I ought to know I should have been fast asleep hours ago. Still I'm crying. I'm crying 'cause I miss you so.
And that was All Night Radio, an entree to murder. The WXRQ radio station cast includes Eirik Davey-Gislason as Rex Arnold, Michael Pate as Frank the Engineer, and Kacie Laforest as Georgette Beverly. The Cavern of the Three Crones cast includes the Three Crones played by Ali Silva, Mary Murphy, and Kacie Laforest, James Kleinmann as the announcer Ted Fortescue, Alain Laforest as Michael Jones, Ali Silva as Catherine Beaumont, David Linton as Harrison J. Blair, Mary Murphy as Mrs. Peat, and James Kleinmann as Mr. Good. The song Midnight by Boudleaux, Bryant, and Chet Atkins was performed by Martina DaSilva, accompanied by Nico Sleator. An Entrée to Murder was written by Silvan Sandovar and directed by the team of Silva and Rodriguez. All Night Radio was produced by Gustavo Rodriguez and me for Fireside Mystery Productions. Our musical score is improvised and performed by Nico Sleator. Our sound effects designer and engineer is Greg Russ. Our technical director at the Slipper Room is Johnny Goddard. Our production assistant is Brontes Shane Orengo. Jason Graves composed our theme music, and I manage our audio post-production. In our Fireside Bag of Tricks, we've created something extra special called the Patreon Playlet. The Patreon Playlet is an audio treat of bonus content that is not released on our regular podcast feed, but made exclusively for our Patreon patrons. The Patreon Playlet for this latest series of all-night radio episodes is a fun tidbit that will not only add to your enjoyment of the whole series, but may shed some light on the fate of one of our main characters. It's called Mind Your AM P's and Q's, and it's available only for patrons at the $5 or more per month sustainer levels. But you know, as little as $1 or $2 or more a month would provide vital support for what we do and help us to achieve our future goals. And there are all sorts of special perks for it too. A postcard from Sunken Harbor, exclusive discounts on our merch, a personalized audio thank you from a fabulous cast member, a super cool limited edition lapel pin. We've got perks for all different monthly sustainer levels. Check them out and become an FMT Patreon patron today by going to patreon.com/Fireside Mystery Theater, or just follow the link from our website. As ever, we are so grateful for any support you give to help us keep the embers of our fireside flickering. Oh, we must sing to the hilltops a very special thank you to our newest fabulous patron, Becky Faulkner. We are thrilled and ever so grateful for your support. Keep minding those shadows, Becky. Hey, if you like what we do, a kind rating and review on Apple Podcasts is a lovely way to support us without spending a penny. And if you've already left us a rating and review, we thank you most kindly. If you're in the New York City area, get yourself down to the Slipper Room today, April 28th at 5 p.m. for our latest journey to Sunken Harbor. Or make very definite plans to come see our live taping next month, when we will certainly not guarantee fairy tale endings to our creepy stories in Fireside Fairy Tales. Sunday, May 26th at 5 p.m. Get those tickets now at slipperroom.com or follow the link from our website. Our long-suffering radio host, Rex Arnold, wishes a certain someone would just disappear. In the next chapter of our 4-part series of all-night radio, Now You See Her. As you click off your radio for the night, do remember to mind the shadows.